you know from my Chronicles playthroughs that whenever you reach chapter 6 and you enter the magic code 421, then you're gonna get these choices. This is a complete nonsense. On the right hand side we have reset heal cost that we usually take, and we have elemental zone that requires certain marks to be on our units. When all 4 marks are in play, that's when you can also get elemental zone. And you see that I got air mark, water mark, earth mark, as well as fire mark. Now, I didn't have any other units back then when I already collected 3 marks, and I couldn't put the 4th mark on the Dragon Golem. And the only other unit that I still had available that will stay with me in the endgame as well was the Shark Trainer. That's why the fire mark got to the Shark Trainer. The question is, when should you go for these marks? When should you start collecting them, if at all? And when should you take the elemental zone, and when should you take the reset heal cost? I would say that most of the time you take the reset heal cost. Most of the time, because this is not mandatory. I mean, you see that you have 80 mana every 15 seconds, that's amazing. And the CD time, so the recovery time is reduced by 10 seconds, that's also amazing. But it's not essential to win. It's an option, but it's not essential at all. But if you see that, for example, once you get Dragon Golem, which I got back in the days, once you get Dragon Golem and you see a mark, and the way how I got the air mark, by the way, in this specific playthrough was simple. I could choose between air mark and +1 hero spot and +1 unit spot. Now, I couldn't care less about +1 spots for units and heroes. This is enough for me. So I chose air mark. And then a water mark appeared, and then the 3rd mark. And once I saw the 3rd mark, I was willing to even reject a hero attack or hero defense for the earth mark. And then the fire mark came not too long after. So I needed another unit. Very important, don't start collecting these marks before you get the Dragon Golem. It just doesn't make any sense. The reason is the following. You may say that sure, I get the Shark Trainer first and I start collecting a mark, but it doesn't make sense, because you want these spots, you want this thing on the Shark Trainer, this revival, and you want this thing, the Fearless. So you want both, basically. And then if you can have some damage or damage reduction or something else, you also want that, also on the Shark Trainer. And that's why I would say that the first safe spot to start collecting these marks is when you get the Dragon Golem. And if none of them come until like chapter 6 or so, it's absolutely fine to reject. It also depends what your silver situation is. And it also depends what kind of hero you have and how easily you win all these battles. In this specific case, I win them quite easily. So resetting heal cost doesn't make sense for me at this stage. So I went for the marks. And this way I will accept the elemental mark. Now where do I put it? It's not that easy, because you see that I cannot put it on the Dragon Golem anymore. Which unit stays with me until the very end? Venom Spawn for sure, Arcane Archer for sure. I will just use the defensive unit because there are not that many things for defensive units that I can normally use. And this will make the Skilgore fight somewhat easier. Now, I'm not saying that it's gonna be easy, I'm just saying that it's easier. Now, with Kilgore, you need to know that Zeron is horrible. You want someone who uniformly deals damage. You don't want damage to be dealt on the back row, the troll, because then the troll goes berserk. You don't want that. Another thing that I suggest for this specific fight is don't charge. Just take it easy. So I will keep these units behind the defensive. So grind down the defenses first, then the attackers, and leave the troll the last. That's what I would suggest. And what else? Well, here you have more attacking power, so I would just change it and make sure that the domains are in there. Now, Elemental Zone will give us quite a lot of options to cast spells, so this may even trigger the opponent, the troll. But you see, we're winning. And we're winning a lot, actually. It doesn't look like we're winning a lot. But this is not the usual experience in a playthrough that we don't have a slightest problem to go through. We may still lose a bit more units, but actually this has been one of the easiest playthroughs ever with this chapter 6 final boss. This is what I wanted to show you, that if you do your homework, you still need to get lucky with the 4 marks, and then from now on it's gonna be a piece of cake. It's gonna be super, super easy.